Welcome back, YouTube, and as promised, we're gonna go straight to work today painting my rims. These are some 26-inch rims I have on my truck. They are replica snowflake, so I'm just cleaning them at this point, showing you two different visions or views. Up close view, as you can see me cleaning each individual spoke. Warm water, Dawn dish soap, and the white dirty rag or towel, whatever you want to use. That's what I'm using. Now the rims are all clean, and I just want you to see the reason why I'm painting my rims. I had a fight with some curbs, and of course the curbs won. So I'm just going to show you what happened. So as you can see right there, turning, and the curb just took all of my rims hard away. As you can see, several nicks and dings and scrapes. So it was just time. And disclaimer, I am not a professional painter, but I just want to make a video for someone that was, interested in doing this themselves like I am. I actually went around and tried to price this, and everyone just was too expensive, and some places wouldn't even do the 26 inches. They said 24 was the biggest they would go. So just to help dry my rims off, I'm using the dryer, the blow dryer, the hair dryer. All right, now I'm using this purple power. It's like a degreaser, just to, anything that I may have missed or something may have blown on. Just want to make sure your rims are nice and clean before you start to take away all the gloss and the paint coat, because that's the next step, is just using sanding paper and just getting rid of pretty much everything, all of the coats that you see. I'm using the 320, and so the video wouldn't be super long. I'm really only going to show myself doing one rim, and as you can see in the little picture-in-picture, just so you can see an up-close version of what I'm doing. And the hardest thing about this whole process is just the preparation, if you're doing it yourself like I am. So if you have some free time, well, you definitely need some free time to do this if you're doing it by yourself, and just take your time and knock it out. So what I'm doing, I'm doing the whole rim. I'm starting with the outer lip first, and just those places where I had those curb marks, I'm just trying to sand them down and just make them nice and flush and even. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start sanding away the paint, because I'm repainting them. So I'm just sanding away that paint and just trying to rough up the surface as much as I can. So again, I'm going to go in depth only on one rim, and then show you the finished product. I won't bore you and make you sit through me doing all four of these. And this is my first time doing this, so I'm just taking my time. There's no real right or wrong way to doing this. You just want to make sure you hit every spot that you plan on painting. You want to sand to make it as smooth as possible. I can't really tell you how much to sand off. That's your own judgment. But definitely when you're doing your rims, every spot that had a curb rash mark, you definitely want to sand that until it's nice and smooth and leveled. When I'm painting mine on the ground, but I have a tarp because I didn't want to mess up my garage driveway. So keep that in mind. If you're doing this, if you don't want to be hunched over like me, you can always put it on top of a tray or something. Just make sure it can hold the weight. Or you can do it in the grass, whatever your preference is. Just always remember that, whatever is around it or underneath where you're painting may get some paint on it. So just make sure you're mindful of that. And again, I'm trying to hit every angle. So this whole process, I won't lie, it took me maybe an hour to do all 4 of them. I mean, it didn't take me an hour on each rim, but in all, it took me an hour just to sand all these rims down. And yes, you're going to go through quite a bit of sanding paper depending on the size of your rim. So it's good to buy bulk, and then you can always take back the stuff you didn't use. Just make sure you keep hold of your receipt. And I didn't want to speed this process up just so you can really see that I am doing it myself, and just so you can really see how long this will really take you. And again, it depends on the size of your rim and the makeup of your rim. Okay, now this is how they will look once you finish sanding them all down. All right, you don't want to forget the center caps. Those need to be touched up as well. And again, there's no real right or wrong way to do this. You just want to remove the paint, the finish, as much as possible. I only had one set of gloves, so that's why I'm not wearing them right now. So, but again, if you're doing a project like this, a DIY, you're pretty much like me. You're not afraid of getting dirty or getting your hands dirty. So just dive right in there, remove that paint finish, and just sand it away, because you don't need it, because you're about to repaint them. Try to make sure you're hitting all angles as you're doing this. And I'm going to show you how it's going to look in just a second. And again, on stuff like this, I'm letting it play in real time. And then other stuff, I'm just going to do a time lapse, so I won't have you sitting through a long, drawn-out video. So that's how it's going to look. So that's one, and I'm about to show you all the other 3. So that's basically, I did the same thing on the other 3. All right, so this is another tedious task right here. You want to get your marking tape, and I'm using a roll of cardboard paper. If I had newspaper, I would have used newspapers. If I had a deck of cards that I wasn't using, I would have used a deck of cards. Just whatever you want to use. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. The goal is not to have paint on your tires. So whatever means necessary that you have around you to cover and protect them, by all means do that. If you want to do it the way I'm doing it, then this is just how I'm doing it. So of course you want to cut 4 little strips, because you want to cover up the end caps. Because the last thing you want to do is get primer or paint inside of your inner tube. So, just like that, I just cut some minor little strips, and I just went around each end cap top. So that's what I'm doing right now. And of course, if you have somebody that's willing to help you, this will go a whole lot faster. I do have people that was willing to help, but I tend to take more pride doing it myself, especially if I have time off. I just like to knock stuff out myself and keep myself busy. All right. So yeah, I had a little wardrobe change. I'm here in the state of Texas. As you can see, my shirt, I am drenched in sweat. I'm not even painting yet, and I was just dying inside of my garage. it's probably 90 plus in my garage. And because I'm about to get ready to start painting, I didn't want to open up the garage and it's windy outside and that messed my primer and paint up. So I just kept the garage door lowered. And yes, it was extremely hot. As you can see, I am drenched in sweat, so I had to come out of that painter suit. It was just too hot. And I specifically waited till nighttime to do this. It's about 10 at night, maybe 11 o'clock right now. I think I started at 10. But anyway, the most important goal right here is just to protect the tire. I didn't want you to sit through that, so that's what I did. Not the best of tape jobs, but I got the job done. The tires are covered up. That's the most important goal. The only thing you want exposed is the rim, because that's what you're about to prime and paint. So again, look at my shirt. I am drenched in sweat, so sorry about that. Arms, shirt, pants, drenched in sweat. So here was the first coat of primer that I'm using. Rust-Oleum 2-in-1. I got my safety glasses. I got my gloves on. So as you're applying this first coat, you just want to start light. Hit as much as you can. You don't have to fully cover anything because you're going to wind up doing either 3 to 4 coats. I do 3. Definitely got to shake the can up like I'm doing. And this is the closest rim to my camera setup. So I'm going to be in depth on this one. And then I'll come back and do a time lapse and you'll see the rest of them. So this is how I'm going to start. Just lightly hitting the rim, the lip of the rim. And again, I'm not a professional. My first time doing this. So bear with me. There's going to be some heavy spots, some bleeds, but I'm going to come back and smooth them out. Because this is just the first coat. Try the best to hit every angle as you're doing this. Just take your time. And I guess if you can, if you have a rhythm, that would help as well. If I do this again, I definitely know I should have went forward, back, side to side, or the forward, back, left, right. I was kind of all over the place. But again, I got the job done. You're going to see. So I believe I'm almost finished. And again, this was the first coat. So I'm not fully covering it with this one. I'm just trying to at least hit all spots. And then I'll come back with the second and third coat and fully lay it on, and you'll see the difference. So you're going to still see some black on the rim. All right. So now I'll allow them to sit for 30 minutes in between each coat. As you can see, they want to bore you with this whole drawn out process. I even hit the center caps. So now I'm about to paint. So yes, so what I left out. So I did 3 coats total, and I'm going to do 3 coats of the paint. This is a satin black. So this is my first coat. So again, I'm going to start off very light. And then the second and third coat is when you want to lay it on. I busted up my gloves, so now I'm barehanding it. So if you're painting, you're going to have accidents. You just have to keep going with the flow and make sure you wash your hands to keep that paint off your hands as soon as possible. So here we go with the first coat. And again, I like to start on the lip, work my way all the way around, and then I hit the inner snowflakes. My apologies, I'm trying not to have my backside all in the camera. I will step away so you can see what I'm doing. Any second now. I'm gonna step away. Any second now. Any second. There I go. Sorry about that. I finally realized, hey, got your butt in the camera that people can't see. And again, you want to be patient as you're doing this. Take your time. You pretty much have blocked or obligated your time or your day to do this, so don't rush and mess this up. All right. So what I try to do, I try to start, of course, with the outer lip of the rim, work my way all the way around. Then I start at one spoke and then work my way around. That's just so I keep up with what I'm doing and where I'm at. So that was the first coat. All right, so between each coat, I'll allot 30 minutes for it to dry. And now this is my third and final coat. I didn't want to bore you by having you sit through the second coat. So this is the last one. You'll definitely see the difference. I'm gonna zoom in at the once I get finished, once I work my way all the way around, and you can definitely see the difference. So as far as cans, I use 2 cans of primer, and I believe I used 3 cans of satin black, and I used 2 cans of gloss. See? All right. Still using the Rust-Oleum. This is the Universal Clear double top coat. My first coat of gloss. Want to remove the safety mechanism that's holding it. Definitely have to shake it after you get that safety lock off of it. And then once you have whatever formula method that you've been using, just start spraying. And another thing I noticed, I believe I was too close. So if I do another project like this, or when I paint my motorcycle, I'm not going to stand as close. So what happened, I was wearing a mask, but because it was so hot inside of the garage, it was hard to breathe out of it. And I know you probably said I had the wrong type of mask, which I did. It's next to impossible to find those painter, the ones with the vents, those painter masks. And then online, they were all sold out. So I just went with my regular walk around mask. So what I was doing, it took me, like I said, I waited 30 minutes in between each coat. It took me a while to paint because I could only take it so much. The fumes and the heat, it was just getting to me. So I had to come out and I'll take breaks and then I'll go back in. So in all, you're seeing a 29-minute video, I believe. This probably took me 4 hours. And that's the finished look. That's the second and third coats. I'm proud of myself. And as you can see, I'm pointing out, I did have some areas, like I said, I was too close, where you see some runs. But for someone that's just first time doing this, I think I did a decent job. So I'm looking forward, and I also did the center caps, to doing more projects. I am going to do my bike, so stay tuned for that.